Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome to my jewelry mess. Told you I would come back and show you how I go about dismantling jewelry and what I do with different pieces. This was all the stuff that was all tangled up. There's also other pieces that I've got stashed aside. This is just a long chain with hearts on it. Not sure if you can see it, but it's quite long, so I'm not going to take this apart. I'm going to leave that whole. There was also this piece here that is the black cording, and there's several links of it, and one's tied in a knot that's got the ends on it, but it also has a little bit of chain on there. So I've got that, and I have a hard time finding the black cording. So I've got that set over there. I've got several, and I had to set these over here because it took me a while to get these all untangled. One chain has a pendant on it, and the other links they're just links of chain, but they have the connections to them. You know, none of them are broken. So I got those set aside because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. Other stuff, and there's different tools I use. Tweezers. I've got a pair of round nose pliers. I could not find my regular little needle nose pliers, so I've got these. They're just really long nose. And then I've got a pair of snips, the black ones. And just going through these and picking up and seeing what I'm going to be doing with all of this stuff. Oh, and I forgot to show you this. These, let me take this one here out. That's that earring that I want to take apart. These are all the watch pieces, the little springs and stuff that I found. So that's a prize in itself. And these are other ones that I've got them set in here because they sort of tangle up really easy. Let me see if I can move these to a safe space. And we'll just go through some of the things that I know I'm going to dismantle. This being one of them. Now, I do want to save the clasp on the end. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and just cut this part down here off. And then I can come back and trim off the two pieces where the thing connected. So I can't really see it in here tonight to do that, and that's basically all now this one here has a piece of chain wrapped around it, and I must have fiddled with this thing for 30 minutes to get it undone. So I figured I would leave it and trim it off as I go. So I'm going to get right in here because there's little spacers on here that keep them from moving, and that's what I've got from that one. Put that goes out, and I'll just continue all the way down with this one here, and then where the chain does not want to come off, sometimes it's wrapped 2 or 3 times around this thing. So without cutting the chain, now I'm not sure if y'all can see any of this, but there goes the beads, and then that part of the chain is loose. And then I'll continue that until I have all those pieces off of there. Now, some things are simple, like the wooden piece here, I know I want to use this separate, so I'm just going to come down here and trim the cord in between. See, there's my wooden piece. And then I can pull off, at least I thought I could, but sometimes you'll see that they're tied in between. Cut the tie. Now this has seed beads in the middle, so be careful pulling them out. There's that, and then there's all my seed beads. And all I'm doing is putting them in one container for now, and I'll go through and sort them out later. Alright, now see, this one here is broke right there, but it doesn't matter. A little bit of glue on that, and it'll be right as rain. Get all the thing off of it. There goes the bead. The next bead, that one. I think the rest of these are just going to fall off. Yep, just like that. Add them to my stash. That piece goes in the trash. And then to find out where, I don't know how this is connected. I know there's a hole there, but where does the, so what am I, until I can figure this out, I'm going to leave this on here, because if I can't figure out how that goes on, then I'm going to need something to use for the dangle. So we'll leave that part there. Some other things I was able to get was this little pendant. So I'll leave that whole. I've got another piece that's already attached, and there is a hole up here, so that part I'm going to leave there. That's whole. This one here is the dangle that's already started. So all I've got to do is attach it to something, and that's done. This piece here I'm not going to take apart, because, I mean, look how gorgeous that is. I want to wait and use that on a memory album, so leave that whole. Then I found this thing. Not quite sure what it is, probably a pull on something, but that's going to look awesome on a journal. It can be just attach this to the back of it, have this come around to your front button as your closure. That's going to be great. Alright, this was another, I think, pendant, but yeah, that's going to be great on a project. Now, let's see, where else are we? Alright, this here, I want this separate from the chain. So, and I mean, the chain goes all the way through, but let's see, this is the one that has 2 lobster claws, one on each side. So I don't want to lose my lobster claws. So the easiest thing here is to come in here and take out that jump ring. And there, I've got a piece of metalwork and another chain. This is an earring. It still has the earring part attached, but I think that is so neat. These little pieces of, looks like turquoise, have been tied onto, looks almost like crocheted on to that end there. So, knowing how these things are a little on the difficult to get off because they're the earring bottoms, but just spread it out, and there goes another dangle. Then there's, I mean, I thought this was gorgeous, and it's an old clip earring. So all we have to do is remove the clip. Now if you've got a decent pair of snips, not these, it will come off. it just takes a little time and getting it right in the right area. That's going to make a liar out of me. Yep, because I'm doing it on camera. Alright, let's see, what are we going to do? Well, we'll just go for it. Do one side first. This is not going to... Yeah, it is. There we go. Just needed to be peeled up. There. And off it came. And now, that's going to look great on the front of a journal. This was a pendant. Now, I'm not taking... These are heavy duty holes on them. And it's really difficult to cut them off and to have them look right. So I'm going to leave this for a dangle. The same with this one here. This is metal, but this hoop here is really heavy duty. So I'm going to leave that one as it is. I got this. It's a piece of mother of pearl. And somebody has tied a twist tie around it for some reason. Take that off. And yes, the clasp is horrid. So let me grab out my pliers here. And if I can, without breaking the shell, try and open that up enough to where I can get that off. There. And that's a thick piece of mother of pearl. Put that in the trash. This is another pendant that was in there. I'm going to leave that. The hoop earrings, I got a very good suggestion from a subscriber on putting beads on them and closing them off. So I'm going to give that a try. There were also little stick pins. So I'm not going to do anything with those. I don't quite know what that is. It looks almost like a whale tail, but maybe not. So, and then this one here I think is gorgeous. The black onyx. But I'm going to set these aside because I don't know yet what I'm going to do with them. This is just the backing from stick pins. So I'm going to put those in with those. Now, this is a piece of just glittery ribbon, and it's got a little charm on it. So we're just going to come in here carefully because the ribbon's already got a hole in it. Maybe I can just cut that off. But I don't want to use that with the ribbon. So there I've got a nice little charm and piece of ribbon that can also be used as a part of a dangle. And I'm leaving this part on because the little tags, the extenders on necklaces, make great chains for your dangles. Now this end here was where this is supposed to set into it, but you know, I can get rid of that, and I've got ribbon and that part. I don't know how, but somebody, this was cut an apple out of a penny, but I'll use it somewhere. This was the purse. I took it off the chain, and all I have to do is reconnect that jump ring to there, and that will be a nice little charm to use. Some of the other things, like this was a safety clasp on a necklace, there's the chain for a dangle. Here's one too. I can add one of the lobster claws to that. And that. Now this is, I don't know if it's metal or plastic, but it's a dragonfly. Now hopefully this is plastic and I'm not going to ruin it, because if it is, then it's a shank button. And we know, yeah, it's plastic with shank buttons. See, I'm just putting that up there and closing my hand over it so that it doesn't go flying everywhere. And there I've got that. Oops, go in there and put my chains in there. I did find a piece of resin in there in the bucket, and several charms. Like there's a frog. Oh, there's another dragonfly. Now, if you go ahead and do yours, you know, get these done while you're working on it, then when you're working on your project, that's already taken care of, and this you don't have to worry about. Backings to earrings, some of them I don't keep. Now this piece here, I really want to save these two ends as dangles. So what I have to do here, because there's not a jump ring there, is I've got to open that circle. See if I can find it. And I want to open it just enough. Now it doesn't want to work with me. Open it just enough to slip that off, and then immediately come back in here and close it up. Make sure I've got it closed. There. And now I've got the, see if I can put this back through here so you can see. I've got the hole there that I can put a jump ring in, and I've got that to dangle off of whatever. Do the other side right quick. It's hard to see in here, but I'm trying. Open this up enough. Take that out. Come on. And then grab hold of my end there. And I don't want nothing coming off. And twisting it back there. So there's another one that I've got. And then this leaves me with this part, which I think is gorgeous. And then someone may, if I do a project with someone named Margot, I've already got a heart with the name on it. Now this is another earring that's, you know, it's got the backing on, but that was the dangle from it. And then I've got that part. This was a little weird. It's just a jump ring on an earring with, I don't know, metallic something. Anyway, it's shiny. And I want the shiny. I don't want the earring. So, well, you are a tough one to, there we go. Well, I know I did it. Let's do this in another place. Evidently, I cut it too close to the opening. It wouldn't come out. So, there. That can go out. And now I've got a nice little piece of chain that be great in a mixed media project. A lot of this is going to go for mixed media projects. And let's see, here's another one of the backings. And I want the front. I don't want the backing. So I'm going to come in here, and usually these are pretty easy to that happens. And now I've got pretty flower with a drop. And all of this is just from junk jewelry. See, there's a drop already made. So I'll come in here and clip the end of the earring off. And if I don't want those, then later I can take them off and just use the beads separately. This one is gorgeous. Now, I can either have just this part, or these two, or separate, or all together, or just the drop. But it's a post earring. Now for these, I'm simply going to cut the post off, or is it going to come off the other way? Well, you're going to give me a hard time. Let's try it this way, because you are not wanting to cut. There we go. And the post is off. And now I have a gorgeous flat piece. And that's all it is to, you know, taking all these pieces of jewelry apart, is just cutting them off. Cut the beads off. Cut the string. Now from here, I've got red beads. I've got the little gold tricone beads. And, well, come on now. Did I hit the tie? I must have. Let's try pulling them off this way. All those go in there. Then we've got the same here with some wooden beads. These actually have wooden spacers to them, which are great. So I got here where the knot is. Needle stuck there. I used the needle to get the chains untangled. Now this one here is black cording, but it's leather. So I'm not, you know, I want to keep these in one piece. But I can easily trim those off here. I've got my leather, and trim that off there. Trim that off there. I've got leather cording, and then with this piece here, I'll take these off, and then there's a chain. There's a chain to use as a dangle. Other things I've got, this is just little plastic beads on here, but the cording is bad, so we'll take all of those off of there. Those. This was the one that I was anxious to get to. So, what am I going to do? I need to get this part off, but leave the bottom. So I'm going to have to undo that jump ring. But I don't see where it's connected at. Which means I have to sacrifice the jump ring because there's no connection. That's okay. I've got more. Undo that. Now that comes off. And I'll put that in with my hoop earrings. And here I've got a beautiful piece that can be used in another project. And I've still got more to do. And it's going to take me a while, and I really don't want to sit here and bore you all to death with this, but this is just some of the things that you get. And I mean, just out of what I had, this is a pile of stuff, and there's still more to go. So check out, if you like dealing with beads and stuff in your journals and your junk journals and whatever, look through your jewelry box. Anything you're not using. Ask friends, ask family to look through theirs. Charity shops are a good one. And some of the charity shops, you'll get them in a bag for next to nothing. A few dollars, you get a bag of it. You've got to go through it. And there'll be something similar to what you've got here. But it's a way to start. It's a way to increase your stash, because when you look at it, alright, take a look at these red beads. I've got, and these usually come 4 to 6 in a package. I probably got 2 or 3 packages worth in here. And I don't know about your area, but here, the package like this of these type of beads, and they're ceramic, and they would sell for $4.99, $5.99 here. And here I've got plenty to play with. I've got wooden beads. I've got mother of pearl. And it's a ton for next to nothing. Just for asking. Check out yard sales. It's still not too cold because some areas are still having yard sales. Charity shops, friends, neighbors. If your parents are still around, ask them to ask their friends. Some of these have vintage jewelry that is awesome. And all it takes is to ask. If you go to your charity shops, a few dollars, and you've got a ton. So check it out. If you like what I've shared here with you today, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully by the time I see y'all next time, all of this will be done. So, bye guys, I'm back to work.